Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Alright, so initially we didn't have the clip and so most of the facts were in question, but that didn't stop the leftoids from taking to the media and calling bloody murder. Yeah, remember after the news dropped that Judge Dugan was facing charges of obstruction of justice, and all kinds of media experts took straight to the news to claim foul. She didn't do nothing. How dare Donald Trump and his minions arrest a judge? Yeah, well, as per usual, they spoke way too soon, jumping to conclusions before even seeing the video, and now, well, you could pretty much guess exactly where I'm going with this. We have the video, and I think there's only one way to describe it. It's pretty much as blatant as it gets. Clearly illegal, clear obstruction. It's not a theory. No, there's video footage showing her actually helping a criminal illegal alien evade federal arrest right inside the courthouse. And not passively, but actively. She literally walks up to the illegal migrant and says, "Hey, the feds are looking for you. Go out the back door." Which then, of course, led to a foot chase, which puts the officers in a potentially dangerous encounter. Holy friggin' moly, this is bad. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so we know most of the backstory, right? We've covered this topic pretty much ad nauseum. I'm gonna assume you understand the context. Now take a look at the video that basically confirms literally everything we've reported and everything that was reported by the Trump administration.
He meets his attorney in the hallway and walks towards Circuit Court Judge Hannah Dugan's courtroom. Along the way, he passes plainclothes federal agents who are sitting on a bench. They are there to detain him. After Flores Ruiz walks by, the agents turn to each other and appear to confirm his identity amongst themselves. But a few moments later, Judge Dugan and another judge approach the agents sitting on the bench. A criminal complaint against Dugan later said she was alerted to their presence by a court official. That complaint says during this interaction, Dugan and the agents disagreed over the type of warrant they had to arrest Flores Ruiz. According to the complaint, Dugan ordered the agents to go to the chief judge's office. Video shows her pointing them through a double door. She then turns back to speak with other agents further down the hall and orders them through the doors as well. Shortly after that, with the agents gone from the hallway, Eduardo Flores Ruiz and his attorney exit into the hallway through a different door. As they walk down the hall toward the elevators, they pass another plainclothes federal agent. Neither they nor Judge Dugan seem to have noticed at the time. That agent motions to another to follow Flores Ruiz. Security video shows Flores Ruiz exiting through a basement exit. Upstairs on the 6th floor, the other agents have left the chief judge's office and worked their way downstairs. Flores Ruiz left the building onto 9th Street. Videos of the street shows the agents catching up to him. Flores Ruiz runs across 10th Street while trying to get away, but the agents catch him and arrest him.
I'm sure you guys are thinking exactly what I said, right? It's as blatant as it comes. She literally did exactly what the charges indicate she did. We got yet another activist judge trying to play resistance hero. We're fighting against Donald Trump fascism by protecting one illegal at a time. How completely idiotic. She walks up to the criminal and advises him and his lawyer to get out of the building, and it appears she even indicated the escape path. Absolute sabotage. This is obstruction of justice. She aided and abetted a fugitive from escaping federal custody. And not just an innocent migrant who was being persecuted and she was doing objectively the right thing. No, not some poor oppressed soul who was simply looking for a better life and had legal status, but the Trump administration was skipping processes and sending him to El Salvador. That is not what is happening. This is a guy who was charged with violent crimes. He's not an asylum seeker. He's not a DACA recipient. He's a domestic abuser who's in the country illegally. And she used her authority as a judge to protect him and help him evade federal custody. And in the process, she put federal officers in danger. Look at the foot pursuit that then followed. Now, the likelihood that that ended badly, of course, is small. But regardless, she created an opportunity for something bad to happen. They're running into the street. Who knows? There could have been a car. The criminal in question could have had a weapon on him. I mean, who knows what could have happened? But the fact that she forced a foot chase here is just so unbelievably insane. And again, it's not the first time this has happened. This happened recently in a viral clip that we covered not so long ago. And look, the left is describing it as resistance, doing the right thing. But if you're engaging in resistance supposedly for the righteous cause, you better actually be righteous. But in this case, they're not. That's the craziness. This delusion of fascism that America's fallen into. It's simply false. She protected a known criminal, and it was all based on the premise that they apparently didn't have a warrant. How many times do I have to explain to these people, and crazily enough, I have to explain to a judge, that ICE does not need a criminal warrant to apprehend illegal migrants. They just don't. They use what's called an administrative warrant, and it gives them broad ability and broad authority to go after individuals who have had administrative warrants placed on their names. You would think a judge would understand this, or at the very least, a judge would understand that getting in the way of federal law enforcement is just a bad idea to begin with. This ridiculous, delusional assumption that ICE has been compromised, taken over by the evil orange man, and they're now operating as an unaccountable Gestapo. Obviously not. And if you have a challenge as a judge to the work that federal law enforcement is engaging in, well then follow the legal processes. Take it to court. Make a few phone calls. Figure out what's going on. But playing woke, George Soros-funded anti-Trump vigilante, it just ain't it. Not a chance. Yeah, obviously it's not about justice. It's about a warped ideology and worldview. This is about a judge that is living in a fantasy world, a judge who thinks that she knows better and who decided that on that day she was going to be a freedom fighter, a social justice warrior. How pathetic. And clearly now it's undeniable that what she did was wrong, and she should absolutely have to face the consequences. You just can't let this stuff snowball. I mean, what happens if every leftist judge starts engaging in this kind of behavior? A message has to be sent. And this situation here with Judge Dugan, or Judge Dugan, again, I still don't know which one it actually is, but anyways, this situation with this judge, in my opinion, is a symptom of a deeper rot. This obsession on the left with protecting criminals in order to score political or cultural points, and this delusion, this fantasy that they've created that Donald Trump is doing all of this stuff illegally and persecuting people. It's just not happening. It's woke fantasy land. And you judges out there, you politicians, you DAs, you prosecutors, you sheriffs, you gotta get your head out of your behind real fast, because if you don't fix your orange fascist delusions and fix them quick, you're gonna find yourself in some serious trouble, just like this judge. The American people are done watching the justice system be weaponized and warped by these activist lunatics. And I know the Democrats wanted to play on sympathy to protect and defend this judge, but I'm telling you, I feel the sentiment out there. There is very little sympathy for this nonsense. People are sick of it. They're done with it. And I don't blame them. There's simply no defending this. And that's what I said day one. The Democrats are once again going to put themselves in the position of defending the indefensible. And they all came out without hesitation defending this judge. And now they look like complete and utter fools. What she did was clearly illegal, clearly beyond her mandate and authority as a judge. And once again, this idea that the Trump administration was attempting to intimidate judges, expand their power and authoritarian fascist takeover, the whole narrative, again, was built on an absolute dud. The Trump administration is simply imposing the rule of law. In other words, the Trump administration is following through on the mandate that they were elected to execute.